Next we have Lyle Stai. He's our new district representative, just new to us this year, so I'm sure he'll have some good information for us.
You think?
I don't know if you're going to need a microphone.
I probably would. So I get for hollering at people for 37 years where I worked before.
Up to you.
I'll do it anyway. I'm Lyle Stai. I'm replacing Lowell Simpson, who turned 80 years old, so he thought it was time to slow up a little. That means I got 17 years to go. It's a long time. I appreciate all the people around these township boards that are younger than me. I'm 63 and somebody's got to carry the load. Appreciate that. I see the younger faces all over here. And everybody, all the townships are represented. That's neat too. Besides Big Stone Township, I represent Swift, this is where I'm from, Chippewa, Lac-La-Parle, Stevens, Grant, and Traverse counties. They want me to speak about the L&R. I got a cheat sheet here from the state office. That's held in the beginning of February down in the regular L&R session. But it starts out with resolutions from either individual townships or your county unit right here. And they would be due into the MAP. When I say MAP, that means Minnesota Association of Townships. They'd be due in there by the 1st of May. And then they're on June 1st and 2nd, we'll have a meeting at St. Cloud at the Holiday Inn where they get hashed, talked about, tore apart, rebuilt, and some are declined, others are approved in June there. Then it goes, those that are approved go to our state meeting, which will be held in Alexander this year at Arrowwood. You'll be getting information on that from in your MAP newspaper. And that's when the final approval is granted or denied for these resolutions that will be forwarded to our attorneys to lobby at the legislature. We had about 40 legislators that attended our breakfast at the second day of our L&R meeting in St. Paul. There was one other person besides Lowell and I that were at the breakfast. That was Ron Abel from Chippewa County. Current legislative news. There are, on the website, this gets updated almost weekly, there are 105 bills currently listed on there. And seeing as I'm getting paid by the minute, I'm going to go through all 105. Correct, Rusty? No, I'll hit up about 16 of them I got picked out here. First I'll talk about the Transportation Finance Bill, which I'm sure you're hearing about the, let's call it fighting, going on in the legislature. One is to use our current $2 billion surplus. And the other side wants to go to 6.5% sales tax on all fuel, but it would not include fuel used in agriculture. Here's one. This bill, Data Practice Act modified, authorized election judges to know each other's party affiliation. This screwball bill would mean that all your election judges would know who's Republican, who's Democrat, etc. It's got to be, I think, in order to make sure there's no hanky-pank going on there. I think it's totally senseless. Another bill authorizes 16 to 17-year-olds to be registered to vote, but they wouldn't be able to vote until they're 18. It's kind of push these younger kids to get registered probably at the time to get the driver's licenses, to get them probably more interested in the voting process and hopefully they'd show up during elections. And here's another interesting one, voting rights restored for felons. Restores the right of felons to vote once they are no longer incarcerated. This is what's done in North Dakota right now. And it'd be one less thing for the county auditor to try and figure out who's eligible to vote, who isn't. I don't see it as a problem. I don't think there's enough felons in the state to swing an election one way or another. At least probably give them a chance to get back in the mainstream again. Here's one that sales tax on tire sales will be transferred to the Highway User Trust Fund. Now, I don't have it in my stuff here, but I also heard that now they're looking also at trying to get, you go to Napa or anything like that to get car parts and stuff, all the sales tax from those sales would go to the Highway User Trust Fund also. None of these are passed. This is all in the hoopla on it. Here's one. The PCA was looking at regulating the manufacturing, functioning, or use of wood-burning heaters and appliances. They're anti-smoke, but they did kind of drop that. They decided there was entirely too much heat coming from the rural area, which is good. I understand you burn wood, according to your black and blue finger. Here's one would deal with assessors. The Department of Revenue is trying to make it really tough for local assessors. And I don't know if your county, do you use local assessors here, or is it all county assessing? Douglas County's gone to all county assessing for all the townships. But I presume
Pretty much all county.
pretty much all county. Okay, I won't get into it then. Another bill prohibits anyone permanently or temporarily domiciled with anyone else on the ballot from serving as election judge. They're catching up to this day and age now where people are living together without the benefit of marriage. It means that if this bill were to pass, if you were living, would not be allowed to be an election judge if you were running for an office on an elected office. Want to keep real close tabs on it. Another one here for payment in lieu of taxes. It would increase what's called the PILT formula payments. There's another one in here that I'll get to. That's one bill. There's another bill later here. They're trying to get for your local board of appeal that you need to have one trained person there. There's a bill in there, seeing as the Department of Revenue is threatening to completely quit the training for your board of appeals and mandate deal. This bill would say that nobody would have to be certified. Now that's not in here, but now the Department of Revenue was going to have all this be only online, this training. It would take about 3 hours plugging away on a computer screen. They have backtracked a little now, so they will offer the Board of Appeal training at the summer short courses this summer, summer short courses. So if you need to get your status updated, make sure to attend one of the short courses and summer short courses, and make sure you get your application in early, because they'll fill up fast. They're limited to 50 people, I think. Another bill would propose moving state and presidential primaries dates to the last Tuesday in March of the even-numbered year. There's another bill in here that would move it to the first week in June. And I think that's neat because we don't have a long enough election cycle as it is, you know. We need more campaign advertisements on TV and radio. There's a deal here, you know, all clerks and treasurers have to file a report with the state auditor by March 31st, I believe. There's a bill in here that would take away the local government aid to townships if they did not get this filing in. And that's been thrown around for a few years. It's still in there, the bill. There are just a few townships in the state that fail to get this done in a timely manner. Here's one that both Senator Brown and Representative Erickson had, that they both dropped now, but it was kind of interesting. Open meeting law modified. That meant that the clerks would have to be open in a 4-hour, the office of the clerk, be it your home or wherever you do it from, would have to be open 4 hours, 4-hour time span during your monthly meeting. So that meant that if you met at 7, she'd have to be open, she would have to be open by 3 till 8, or if she didn't open up till after the meeting, which was 7 to 8, they have to be open till midnight. That has been dropped by both of them. Doesn't mean it couldn't come back. Just more foolishness. Talk about that one. Buffer zones, you know about as much about it as I do. You know, Governor Dayton came out with a 50-foot buffer zone for ditches. That obviously isn't very popular. It would exempt, the bill as it's written, would exempt all township roads from this. And the last one I have here, that's back to the PILT program again. It would require a outdoor heritage fund to deposit with the state an amount equal to 30 times the most recent tax assessment for the property into a special account, and then be transferred once each year to the counties where the land was acquired. The county would have to invest in a trust, and what would happen is they would take the interest money. They figured 30 years, if they put 30 years worth of money in there, the interest should pay for the taxes that you would have lost each year. So it'd be kind of a perpetual fund. That's all I have on the bills. You can get these off the MAT website. And I look at it fairly often. And the last one I have is MnDOT has come out with a new traffic sign maintenance management handbook. We've had a lot of people take with their little cameras, this picture right here. It gives you information how you can obtain these, phone numbers to call, stuff like that. It's we've got everything in here that you need to know about signs, basically. And that's about all I have. Any questions? I could use a few more minutes of pay. And a little more television time. Okay, well then I'm done.